5, 6, 4, 5, 6, 0. Connected to node 5, 6, 4, 5, 6, 2.
WU7N testing.
Hey James, W7ITL coming in loud and clear.
Good evening. This is the Western Washington Amateur Television Society Net on the 08 machine. I'm Dave, KD7ZYM. The Western Washington Amateur Television Society is a group of amateur enthusiasts that take to the ways with digital amateur television in the DVB-T format. We transmit on 70 centimeters to a crossband repeater on Cougar Mountain, and it spits out images at 1.2 gigahertz. Find out more about our organization. Google WW7ATS That's Google WW7ATS. That will take you to our homepage on the internet. There you'll see the exact frequencies we transmit and receive on. Also, you'll find a link to YouTube, where we stream our nets held Wednesdays and Saturdays between 8 and 9 o'clock. Also, we simulcast our audio on our sister station, WW7. ATS at a frequency of 147.08 with a tone of 103.5. So with that, I'll pause in case anybody has emergency traffic or needs to make a contact before our net gets fully underway. This is Dave, KD7CYM. Welcome back to the Western Washington Amateur Television Society Net. I'm Dave, KD7CYM. Signed in by video link already is Richard, K7ITX, Wade, W7ITL, Jim, N7QO, James, WU7N, and myself, Dave, KD7CYM. Is there anybody else wishing to check in? Hearing none, we'll start off our net with K7ITX Richard.
Okay, we're going live via the iPhone. The iPhone camera. I don't know. There I see myself. Okay. It turned out to be not such a shabby day. It was pretty nice. Kind of warm. I have a feeling it's not going to stay like that for a while. So, other than that, I'm just trying to remember now. There's been every once in a while we talk about these incidents with at the airport. And I heard about a terrible one. I guess it was in Denver, where someone got hit by a big jetliner on the runway. Oh my God! I didn't get into it. I think the details might have been pretty gruesome, so I don't know very much about it. But the one that comes to mind, though, is the 767 that came in too low and hit this bread truck. Oh man! Jeez, that's so lucky that didn't turn into more of a disaster than it could have. Gee, Christmas. So anyway, so that's it as far as I know on some of the airline incidents. Of course, we still have issues in the Straits of Hormuz. That remains to be seen how that pans out. But I'm looking forward to hear what Wade has to report. He's been out and about. Saw quite a bit of activity with him, and looked like Bert even. down in Tukwila at some vintage computers get together. So I'm really looking forward to hear that report. So, moving right along, K7ITX, back to net control. K7ITX, back to net control.
K7ITX, thanks for that. And speaking of Wade, W7ITL in Tacoma. Wade, the mic is yours.
All right, guys. Let me turn my volume down so I don't have to hear myself. I think I shared pictures from the last net about going to the vintage radio convention. Unfortunately, on Sunday when I went, I didn't get any pictures of Bert, but it was nice seeing him, and it was a lot of fun. Today it's pretty eventful. Went to Radio Club in Tacoma in the morning and went to their general meeting at 1 at the Eagles Club in South Tacoma. That was pretty fun. Made some changes to our bylaws. Not that fun, but needed. Besides that, got home, went down to dinner with Rachel, and we had a few drinks. And then got home and did some late afternoon mowing and weed whacking. So now I'm pretty burnt out. But luckily I got a little shower in and a little quick nap before the net. So doing pretty good now. Might be going up to Cougar next week. Make some tune-ups on both repeaters and maybe help out with some of the low audio issues I've been noticing on All-Star and Echolink on some of the repeaters. So that and possibly doing some tune-up on the RTCM, which is our voter system. It's kind of like PSRGs. Some new GPSs, but I got to get them built. I have the components, and they're just need to be put in a box, and then don't know if I'm going to have time on Monday, but I'm going to try to if I got time. I did take the day off. I had some floating days at work that I was going to just go out, and hopefully it'll be a nice day. It was really nice seeing James as well at the retro convention, and we did see a lot of really cool old computers, and I got invigorated with some bugs, and might be working on some Texas Instrument devices that Bert had. I think he just gave me one. An old Texas Instrument microcomputer that I haven't taken out of the box yet. It's been sitting in the box for a couple of years, but there's a lot of energy around that community, and I might get some of the hardware to upgrade it and make it more usable and maybe play some games on it. So that's about it. I'll turn it back to our net control Dave. This is W7ITL.
W7ITL. Wade, thanks for that. And let's move on to Jim, N7QO in Covington.
N7QO. Thank you, Dave. Good evening, everyone. Well, Dave, this most recent transmission of yours that you just made announcing me did not come over 2 meters for some reason, but it came over the 1.2 gigahertz just fine. Let's see. Dick, yeah, there have been a few airplane crashes, and that one Denver, I heard just today from someone, so I don't know the source, but they said they thought that someone was trying to commit suicide intentionally, and I guess that person was successful. So glad no one else got hurt, no one on the airplane anyway. And then that 767, oh man, I saw some video of that. It looked like the fellow driving that bakery truck was really concerned there for a minute. And then, yeah, his concern was justifiable. The truck wound up on its side. That was very close. That could have killed a whole lot of people. But they pulled it off, and after bouncing off the truck, wound up landing on the runway. Wow. And yeah, there was another one. Maybe was it 2 months ago, where an aircraft ran into a fire truck. The fire truck went onto the runway, and he had permission to do so. And then the aircraft, which was landing, ran right into the truck, and he had permission to land. So we'll see what happens in that. But I guess the two pilots got killed on that. And that's not talking about little airplanes. There have been little airplanes going down lately as well. Just amazing. It's almost like every week something's happening. But yeah, Dick, you and I have an interest in that in particular, and I'm sure we're not the only ones. So I keep my eyes open for that. Wade, Radio Club of Tacoma, weed whacking. Sounds like you had a really busy day. Why don't you take the rest of the night off after this net? And yeah, that sounds like something I've got to do as well. Weed whacking. Costco just had a sale on a weed whacker and a blower, so I wound up buying that because the one that I have is rather old. It's gasoline powered, and it's kind of on its last legs. So I got this thing from Costco because it was on sale this past month, and I have not yet put it to use. But the good news is I charged the battery on it, so I'm making progress there. Let's see, so what did I do today? I did some stuff around the house, and I wound up going to a friend's birthday party. She turned 80, and we had a good time at a Mexican restaurant today. So I enjoyed some Mexican food. I'm not sure it's going to be all digested by the time I go to bed tonight, but it sure was yummy. Back to you, Dave, and 7QO.
N7QO, thanks with that. And that brings us up to James, WU7N, Northeast Bellevue.
Seven N. Checking to see if okay. It looks like Whiskey Uniform 7 November. I just heard my own voice. It doesn't look like I'm echoing too badly. Okay. Wow, this is really working well. Ooh, I've got two pictures here. How did that happen? I have no idea. I've got two pictures on my application here running on my iPhone XR. Well, folks, I wanted to show you something here. I have no idea. I've got two pictures on my application here running on my iPhone XR.
Okay, standby 1 here. I'm going to try and restart my application.
WU7N, Whiskey Uniform 7 November. WU7N in Northeast Bellevue. Okay, it sounds like. Okay, so I'm going to try and flip the camera here and show you guys something. Again, I've got pictures inside of pictures. I don't know where that's coming from on the application. Okay, so I'm going to try and flip the camera here and show you guys something. Again, I've got pictures inside of pictures. I don't know where that's coming from on the application. All right. Testing 1, 2, 3, 4. Testing. Okay, so it looks like if I push the picture inside the picture inside the application, a little triangle appears, and it looks like we're stabilized. Well, what you're looking at right now is a little box called a tiny GTC. And what it is a frequency counter. And what's going on here is this right here, this one. Let me see if I can. I'm looking at my. Okay, so that is not too bad for focus. This right here is getting a GPS signal coming in, and it's disciplining an oscillator inside the frequency counter. This right here is putting out a 10 megahertz signal that's supposedly disciplined by the GPS satellite constellation, sending two 10 megahertz square wave signals out to an input A and an input B, and that's what you're looking at here. And you can't quite read it, but you can see it's struggling to adjust itself, so to speak, to be 10 megahertz. Right here it claims that the error, even accounting for the delay caused by all these cables, the error is supposed to be 4.2 to the negative tenth. That's the projected error. So anyway, this is I can tell already. I got this box, and I also got a tiny spectrum analyzer. And between the two boxes, I'm going to have my work cut out for me, just trying to figure out what these things do. One word of warning: before you buy any boxes like this, you have to watch out for counterfeits. This is working awfully well, so I'm pretty sure this is not a counterfeit. The spectrum analyzer passed its self-tests, but the counterfeits are so good, apparently they patched the self-test software so that when the crappy counterfeit would normally fail the self-test, they patch it so that it will pass. And the only way you can tell for sure that you do not have counterfeits is to load the latest and greatest software, and then from there you have to run the self-test again, and hopefully it won't turn into a brick on you. So this one, if this is a counterfeit, wow, it's a good one, because it seems to be doing exactly what it's supposed to be doing. I just looking at the at my own output on the computer here on the streaming site. It does look like you doesn't quite have that resolution to be able to read this top line that says use config/advanced menus to select more or less functionality, use chart display to select what is displayed in this area. So this area down here, I guess you can add all sorts of other interesting information about the signal that you're trying to count. So anyway, I'm gonna. I guess I've been rambling long enough. Richard, and Jim both. You guys are my sources on the latest disasters at airports. I think it's COVID. And you say, wait a minute, COVID ended a long time ago, but it disrupted everything. And complex systems, it only takes a little tiny bit to disrupt them. And I have a theory. I'm trying to figure out how to math model this. After that disruption occurs, how do you model it to say how long it will be before it gets back to normal? Anyway, if you have thoughts on that, let me know. This is James, WU7N, and I'm going to push the off button now and turn it back to Dave, our net control over in Seattle, right now.
WU7N, thanks with that. And for ID, this is the Western Washington Amateur Television Society Net on the 08 machine. Again, I'm Dave, KD7ZYM. Well, let's go to Carlos, 87NP on Clyde Hill.
All right. 87 NP from Clydesdale. Oh my gosh, that thing didn't stop. It's gonna be a problem. It's gonna be a lot of background noise from my manufacturing process. Let's see if I can reduce the microphone. Good evening, everyone. Good copy. I am getting ready to travel. I will be leaving early morning towards Florida, and then Dayton and Invention on Thursday. So I'll miss the Wednesday and Saturday. But good copy from everyone. Nice looking device, James. That's definitely a good way of checking how the device is doing. For Wade, I had ordered that Neo GPS device also with the antenna, and the antenna is like those maritime antennas. Let me just show you. So depending on how your experience at Cougar goes, this is the one that I got, and the device itself fits in a little box. And I had 3D printed a little box for it, but I think I would be better off just machining an aluminum box. This is where it would fit that one that was available on Amazon, to see if we can figure out that motor. So let me know how your experience goes. I'll probably have another perspective or another solution if that doesn't work. Richard, good audio and good video, so great to see that you're using both. I think you had the PC on Discord, and then you had the phone working. James, I did notice that when you switch the camera from one to the other, there's some kind of audio mix-up. I've taken note to reproduce this at some point and figure out. I don't think I'm able to see the same on my iOS phones, but there's definitely something on that XR that is doing it. I'll figure out what are other devices that I might have there on a drawer to see if I can reproduce it also. And Jim, also good copy, and that's right, I watched that fellow, the Brad truck driver. That was quite a scare. And I think there were the news that just, I don't know, months before or some weeks before, there was some video of a plane almost doing the same. Seems like that I've watched the Blanco Lirio channel describe the situation. It seems like the minimum is 60 feet, but depending on the gusts and how people are coming on their descent, clearly not everyone is respecting the 60 feet. Is the anticipation to get on the early landing zone, especially knowing that that's the shortest runway there versus the other long ones. On my manufacturing process, good progress. So I went from the 3D printed parts that were my prototypes. Now I have the aluminum brackets that I can mount to secure the dish. All the remaining parts have arrived. Well, not all. I'm just missing a rotor cable, but I think I have everything else. So once I come back from Dayton, I think I can start assembling my project. It's quite satisfying to produce the parts directly here. When I did the costing of just sending this part diagram to the folks in Nevada, the cut send, I think it was $156 just from one of the brackets. So quite fun to have the machining done at home for a lot less than that. That's it for now. So sending it back to Dave, Net Control from 87 NP in Clyde Hill.
NP, thanks for that. And let's see, this is Dave, KD7ZYM in Lake City. I've got 62 degrees and cloudy outside here. Well, for today, I was home doing domestic chores, catching up on the week's activities for myself. Gave the maid the week off, you might say. Well, being single, I guess I am the maid. So anyway, that's what I did today. And got a chance to get out and walk around the neighborhood a little bit. And as a word of caution to Jim with his new weed whacker and blower, in regards to lithium batteries on those devices, I had a weed whacker that I had a battery I left on over winter, and the battery had gone dead. I had to replace the battery. It appears that if you leave the battery on those lawn devices, they will slowly discharge and all of a sudden make the battery bricked. So anyway, I had to replace the battery at a considerable cost, but it is not any longer piggybacked on the device. So that's about my only word of advice I got going. And I guess the other thing, we haven't heard anybody who went to Stanwood today. So anyway, this is Dave, KD7CYM. So let's go back up to the top. Let's go to Richard, K7ITX.
Okay. Well, let's see if I get a picture coming up. I thought I saw a flash. I see my call sign anyway. Yeah, I wonder what happened there. This time I'm doing the Windows application. The first time I had the iPhone application. So let me just start up again. Stand by. Well, I don't know. I think it's... there's my call sign again. but no picture. Well, I'll go next time around. If it comes my way, I'll go back to the iPhone situation. I'm not sure why it's not coming on Windows. Anyway, what else is going on? Oh gosh, just looking for the countdown to fly to San Francisco, do some out-of-town stuff myself in a few weeks. That'll be a lot of fun. Oh yeah, James, nice, cool gadgetry. A little over my head, but pretty fun, real fun. And Carlos, who knows, maybe I'll be running CAD programs in the near future and making parts just like you were holding in your hand. We'll see if that comes about. I'm not going to hold my breath, but it is something that I used to do and made a living at it. Oh gosh, Mount Rainier is looking really nice. It is visible. It's not clouded over. It's real hazy. And Mariners had a great game yesterday. Scored 12 runs, and today they scored 1. So, needless to say, they won yesterday and lost today. It's called 50-50 baseball. That sure seems how they judge the season these days. If you're batting 500, that's a good sign. So, gosh, not much more to report that I can think of offhand. Maybe I'll have something better next time around if it gets my way. Anyway, we'll send it back to Dave. K7ITX, back to net control.
K7ITX, thanks for that. Let's go to Wade, W7ITL.
All right. Well, I think you guys can see me. So I'm just got a slideshow. I think I showed this on Saturday last week, but thought I'd just show it again for anybody that didn't get to see the PNW Vintage Computer Festival, or as they call it, VCF. I'll just kind of let it go through. That is the Xerox. I think it's called a Daybreak. That was a pretty cool machine. I'll just kind of let it cycle here. All right. There's the TI-99 booth. And there's a PET. And that's a barcode to check out the PNW. And this is a Mac that's running on a private network that allows, and that's Adrian Black from Adrian's Digital Basement. Pretty cool dude. And then that's a mini ITX computer. I think that's like a 486 SX. And then there's the 6502 computer project that's the free chips. And there we go. Let's see. So I'll go ahead and show you guys how small these little GPS receivers are. This is I think called a G7. It's a clone of the Neo 6M. It's a little better than the 6M. It seems to have a pretty good accuracy. And this is the little GPS ceramic antenna that you can use, or you can clip on an IPEX connector and adapt it to whatever type of antenna that you want. So that's what I'm going to use to get it into the antenna, this little adapter here. Unfortunately, I didn't really plan this, so this is the kind of box that I got. So I have lots of room. I could probably put 400 of those GPSs in this box. I think it's a 5x8 box, and so I don't know. I think it was only $7, so I'm not really worried about breaking it. But I'm going to drill some holes in here. I'm going to probably do an SMA, and then on the other side I'll do probably an RJ45 female, so that I can just use standard Ethernet cabling for the serial link to the RTCM. I haven't figured out how long the cable I can make. I think I could probably do 10 meters without degrading the signal too much to get it to the RTCM, and then I can run the GPS antenna outside of the Cougar building. So that's that. I think that's all I got for this round, and I'm trying to think I think Jim, you said you got a new weed whacker. Congrats. Always good to have good gardening tools, yard work tools. And it's unfortunate, the story about the person that ended their life on the tarmac. I'm not sure what tarmac that was, but that's unfortunate to hear that people want to do that. So I'll say 73. I'm going to say good night. All right, this is W7ITL Wade here in Dakota.
W7ITL, we got your 7.3s. Thanks for joining the net today and showing us your GPS devices. Let's go on to Jim, N7QO in Covington.
N7QO. Thank you, Dave. Well, Jim, I only saw one of you on the ATV repeater anyway, and that you called it a Timey GTC freak counter. That looks pretty cool. I don't know how accurate that thing is. I know some things can cost thousands of dollars for something extraordinarily accurate. Maybe there's a not quite as stable as some of the expensive units, so it looks to me like it's working fine. It's dancing around a bit, but yeah, that's a pretty I don't know, 10 to the minus whatever number you said there. It clearly there's a whole bunch of digits there, so I would say that's pretty sensitive. I've got. It makes me think of this digital voltmeter, which I got actually for free from Harbor Freight, and it is surprisingly accurate, but it doesn't quite match up with my Fluke. So I don't know. Anyway, it looks like it's working great to me. Looks like it's something that you can have a good time with. Carlos, have a pleasant and safe trip. Yeah, it might be warm where you're going. I don't know, take a bathing suit or something. I don't know. I stay out of the water myself, but I didn't when I was a youngster, but I kind of gave up the water a number of years ago. Dave, disconnect battery from garden tools. Roger that. Message received. I will do that. Thank you very much for that warning. I happen to have the battery disconnected right now because I charged the battery and then I did not plug it into anything just yet. But that's good information. Thank you. Dick, counting down to San Francisco. Very good. You're looking good. Hope didn't catch when you're going, but hope that works out well for you. And Wade, once again, cool pictures there. And that Commodore PET computer, that looks pretty cool too. I didn't notice that the last time around. But yeah, interesting. And we caught that you're done for the night, so good night, Wade. Catch you next net. Back to you, Dave, and 7QO.
N7QO, thanks with that. Let's go to James, WU7N in Northeast Bellevue.
In Northeast Bellevue. WU7N in Northeast Bellevue. Okay. I think we are on the air here. Once again, Carlos, that's an interesting feature. Is I have a picture within a picture running this iPhone XR. If I poke the picture in the middle, it stops with a little triangle, like it's recording something. Or playing something back to me, and I'm not quite sure what it's doing there. Anyway, let me know. I would very much. I would no doubt learn tremendous amounts troubleshooting this with you when you come back from your trip. Safe journeys on that trip, by the way. And you made me smile. I heard that noise when you first came on, and I knew immediately what that noise was. And so that is the sound of progress and something getting milled out. So that was a great noise. So let me flip this over and show you the other box. Now that I flipped, let's see if the audio still works. Testing 1 2 3 4. Testing 1 2 3 4. Okay, it seems to still be working. Okay, so what this is the same sort of genre of equipment. It's a spectrum analyzer, and what you're seeing right there is the spectrum coming in out of this antenna, no amplifier, no preamp or anything, just from 100 to 800 megahertz. And so you can see, there's FM stations over there on the left. I'm not sure what that is on the right there. Could be public service or something, but very strong signals. I'm about 5 miles away from the site, so not surprisingly, I get a couple of really strong FM stations there. So, Jim, this started off, this is how these projects go. This started off with this device right here. You can see from my thumb and finger how small this is. And it runs off a 9-volt battery. It was a big investment of $15 and came fairly quickly. I was expecting it to take forever, like everything else from China. But I believe I got this off Amazon. I believe I also got the Spectrum Analyzer off Amazon, and I'm glad because that's the one that I'm worried might be a counterfeit. So I'm going to load the latest and greatest software on both this and also on this frequency counter. Tomorrow and see. I'm pretty sure the frequency counter is going to be okay. If that's a knockoff fake, it sure is working well. Maybe I shouldn't load the latest and greatest software because that's what always reveals the fakes apparently. And I just learned that off the site. I wish I'd read that first. He's got kind of a list of bad boy sites, don't buy it from here, and good boy sites, you can go ahead and buy it from here. But the reason why I ended up with like for example, trying to figure out how this 10 megahertz reference worked, or why I even bought it in the first place, is because this little $15 frequency counter, it's an amazing frequency counter for $15, but there's no standard reference. And when I put some of my amateur radio equipment signals into it with inductive coupling, it wasn't really very close at all, leaving you with this idea: is the frequency counter off, or am I transmitting that far out of the state of the art? So I started off just figuring, well, I'll get this reference here and see how this does, and use it to calibrate the back of this. You can see there's a little calibration point on the back, right next to the crystal, the 20 megahertz crystal. And I thought, well, I'll just use that to adjust that. And one thing led to the other, and now I have this box that's GPS disciplined frequency counter, and this box is not GPS disciplined. The other frequency standard, this one here, is also GPS frequency disciplined. And this one, the oscillator is also, or the crystal is in an oven. I'm assuming that they would probably have to put the crystal for this in the oven as well, and then they use the GPS signal coming in here to kind of shape the or fine tune the 10 megahertz oscillator in there. Anyway, if anybody knows about that or has a comment on that, I'd be interested. So that's the story of how these projects, one thing, or I guess I should say, one thing leads to another, and then leads to another. It's relatively inexpensive equipment for what it does, but it is interesting to read some forums that people have things like cesium beam standards who don't think this kind of accuracy out to that many digits is really anything to crow about. And I understand. If you're trying to do navigation or something, you need better accuracy than that. But anyway, that's what I've been doing here. And I'll have to let everybody know when I reload the software into this box and into this box, did they turn into bricks that I return, or did they survive the test? So, yes, Jim, your voltmeter, I have a collection of those voltmeters. This is a sign of the times. There was a time when Harbor Freight gave those away for free. And I was very surprised that the DC, low voltage DC, like, anything under 20 volts, was very accurate compared to other instruments I had to measure voltage. So I was kind of surprised at that. The nice thing about those little boxes is you burn one up, and it was free, and I think now they're still only about $6 or $8 or something like that. So anyway, I am a big fan of the Harbor Freight voltmeter, and I'm using constantly all the time for testing batteries, because there's a little load resistor in there, so you can see how your battery is holding up, your 1.5 or 9 volt battery, how it's doing. So I use those a lot. Okay, so I think that's it. I'm going to go ahead and turn it back. Turn my volume up here. And am I on the air at all? I'm totally off the air. Crap. Am I on the air at all? Okay. Totally off the air.
This is WU7N. Back to you, Dave.
WU7N, thanks for that. Let's go to Clyde Hill, to Carlos, 87 NP.
All right. Is there some audio flowing? Yes, I did give the pause command, but it's just completing the line there. Good copy, and this time the audio transition on on your signal, James. It worked well. Richard, I'm wondering, because given that on your PC you were using Discord earlier, if you have not closed Discord yet, the Windows application might not be able to grab the camera. So that might be something to check. Again, with one camera only, the two of them will be competing for the camera. That's right. James, I don't know exactly what you meant by a triangle on the picture-in-picture, unless you're talking about the AirPlay triangle, which is a little bit triangle inside, just below a square, and that if you click on it, it will tell you where do you want to send the audio. Maybe that's it. I was just checking, and this is assuming that you have V1.8 at least. I think that's that's at least the one I have on my phone. I can't remember if this is the latest or not. But yeah, we can absolutely debug that at some point and figure it out. And wait, just to show you, in case you're still there, this is the N9, and on this one basically has the SMA for the antenna, and I guess you will put some foil around that box. My plan for this one is to just do an aluminum box for it, so that the whole thing is inside, and then it has a USB-C that does the serial port. It's a USB to serial. Very good. I'll say goodbye also. I still have to go and get my bag ready. Oh, I had something else that I brought you just to show. So the last portion that just arrived from not Germany, from the Netherlands. I don't know. Let's see if we can see from the inside. Not enough light. I'll send a picture afterwards. So this is basically the 1.2 circular feed for the Earth-Moon bounce contacts, and basically it has an RX port and a TX port, so it has two ports, and this is basically will be centered on the dish. And then that's where I'll connect the receiver and the transmitter ports that come from two different devices. So it's quite big, but it comes with all the parts to set it up, and comes all just this. This is a company in the Netherlands called RFM Design, and I'm quite happy with all the stuff that they have sent me so far. It's quite nice. Very good. So I'll say good night. And yeah, that's right, Richard. I'll tell you. I can show you. And Richard and James, if you recognize the noises, this is where I am in the process right now. It has done some passes, and when I turn the PTT, I just pause it so that it's not going through the metal. But as I just do the play, then you'll get it going again. That's it for now, and for tonight. I'll be back in a week, and I'll bring some pictures from Dayton, and from Florida, if I meet an alligator and I'm not eaten by it, I'll be back. Good evening, everyone. 73s, 87 NP from Clydesdale, going off for now. And I'll just be listening, and then we'll be going and doing my bags.
NP, thanks for sharing that with us. We got your 73s. Wishing you happy trails on your trip. Be looking forward to seeing what you picked up at the ham convention when you come back. This is Dave, KD7CYM. So let's see if we can pick up Richard, K7ITX.
Okay. Well.
Okay. Thought I'd give you a view of inside the shack. Here's some vintage radio equipment. It goes back, dates back to the 30s. Now I'm not sure how my audio is right now. I'm gonna guess it's probably fine over 2 meter. But streaming, it could be a lot of echoing. So anyway, just thought I'd give you guys some of the sights and sounds inside the ITX ham shack situation. So I'll say 73 to everybody. K7ITX. Everyone have a good night. Back to net control.
K7ITX, thanks with that. And for a final, let's go to Jim, N7QO.
N7QO, thank you, Dave. Well, Jim, yeah, I've noticed as well the freebies digital voltmeter from Harbor Freight was surprisingly accurate, compared with the Fluke, which I did have traceable to the National Bureau of Standards. I had it calibrated a couple times, actually, I think. So I do find it somewhat difficult to belittle some of the equipment that's out there nowadays. Although, like you pointed out, if you're using it for some precise navigation, that sort of casts thing in a different light. Carlos, Roger, that horn manufactured in the Netherlands, that looks pretty cool. And good night, Dick. Vintage radio in the shack. Now that looks pretty cool. I used to have one like that too. Actually, my father had it, and we left it in some house when we sold the house. It actually had a shortwave band built onto it. I don't remember the frequency range, but it was only AM. There was no BFO on it, so it would not do sideband or CW. But yeah, it looks pretty cool anyway. So thanks for showing us that picture. And let's see. I guess that's it from me. Good night, everyone. Thanks for participating. Back to you, Dave, N7QO.
N7QO, thanks for that. We got your 73s. And before I shut down, I'll put out, is there anything from anyone before we pull the plug? Hearing none, then this is a wrap. This is the Western Washington Amateur Television Society Net on the 08 machine. I'm Dave, KD7ZYM. So we'll be terminating the Western Washington Amateur Television Society Net and digital amateur television for this evening. This is Dave, KD7ZYM. Good evening all at 9:01.
Thank you, Dave. Good night, everybody. WU7N closing down.